With this Surfaris Wipeout guitar lesson, we'll show you how to play the complete song, including the guitar solo, along with guitar tabs, chord diagrams, and practice backing tracks. We'll cover it all with this step-by-step approach. This Wipeout guitar lesson will work well for beginners because the main theme or the verse sections of the song are fairly easy to learn. The guitar solo will be a little bit more challenging, but let's get started with verse 1. And with that, we place our third finger down on the 5th string, 10th fret. And the key to getting started with playing the verse section is to get those first two notes. And with that 5th string, 10th fret, we go to the 4th string, 8th fret with the first finger. Why that's important is because we're aligning our fingers along frets. First finger along the 8th, middle finger will be playing notes along the 9th, third finger along the 10th. And with those first two notes, we're going to pick up the pace a little bit more now. The first section is going to be 10, 8, 9, and then ascending up one fret at a time, 3 consecutive notes along the 10th fret. So here's how that's going to sound. Once you play the notes correct, you apply a count that will help with tempo. And how I count it, it would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So those 3 notes on the 10th fret, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we have 2 more notes, same string back down to the 8th fret, and then back to the very first note. And that would be considered the main riff to the song. And we're going to repeat it a bunch of times, but let's get the main riff down, and I'm going to apply the count to it. So hopefully we have the frets down on how to play it. Here's how it's going to sound. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And if we had named this riff, of course we've got the finger and fret numbers down, but a lot of musicians use notes and letters to communicate these musical concepts. And what I'm getting at is that first note is a G note, and this riff, it could be considered a G riff. By the way, the G note is the 5th string, 8th fret. And so this is the G riff, and we're going to play the riff in G 4 consecutive times to start the song. So let's rehearse that right now. We'll do a slow walkthrough. So the G riff 4 times. 1, 2, ready, go. Then we go to the next section, and it's going to be the same riff, but we're going to shift everything over. Technically, we're moving up a string, and what we're going to do is take that third finger, move it to the 4th string, 10th fret, and play the same riff, just a string higher. If we applied the letter name to this riff, that would be based off the first note we're playing, and that would be C on the 4th string, 10th fret. 4th string, 10th fret is a C riff. In the running order, the first 3 sections of the verse section, it's going to be G 4 times, C twice, and then back to G 2 times. So let's put together sections 1 through 3. And this is half of verse 1, half of the main theme. 1, 2, ready, go. And now we're going to go to section 4. Again, we're going to pretty much play that same riff, but along not technically a different key, but we're going to move up to a different letter note here. And how we're going to do that, if you remember how we shifted over for C, we're going to go 2 frets higher. And this riff is going to be in D. We have, starting with the D root note here on the 4th string 12th fret, pretty much the same riff, but we're going to throw in a variation. Here's what I mean by the variation. The riff is pretty much played the same. Then we play that D note twice. So let's do that again. And this variation, we move that 3rd finger over to the 3rd string 12th fret. And that is the D riff. Let's do that again. And then we're going to shift back to C. And how we do that, we keep the 3rd finger on that same string, the 3rd string, and just move it down 2 frets. And we play a 5-note riff here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I quickly counted it off. You can see the fret numbers on the tab. That would be 10, 10, 10, 8, 10 on the 4th string. But you want to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's connect these 2 sections now. Section 4 and 5, the D and C sections. 1, 2, ready. Go. And since there's some variations there, let's do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Then we end the main riff, the main theme of the song, by going back to G. Same riff, there's going to be another variation we're going to add, but let's start the riff the same. Then the last note twice. So let's do that one more time. And then we shift the 3rd finger over. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Sort of lingers there. I might be off a note on that, but essentially, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Just kind of riding that last note a little bit to lead into the next section. Let's connect now the final 3 sections, the D, C, and G sections. 1, 2, ready, go. Do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. And with that, we're going to do next in the next clip. So we're going to put it all together, the complete verse 1, that'll be sections 1 through 6, and we'll play it at a slightly slower tempo than the original recording. That'll be a good first step to set you up to eventually playing it faster. For the drum break or drum solo section, we're going to start with a bar chord. It's going to be a C chord played along or barred along the 8th fret position. And there are a total of 7 chords to strum for the drum break. It'll be, the first 2 will be the C chords. So C, then the drums will play, then another C. And you just chop away at the strings and mute them a little bit. If you have reverb set on your amp, you can get that reverb going a little bit. Then another C. And then we go to a power chord shape. We'll shift or stay along the same fret position, but we're going to shift the fingers playing. I like to use the 3rd finger. I like to flatten it across 2, even 3 strings. But this chord will be an F power chord. If you include the 2nd string, that's fine too, but if you just get those first three to sound, that's good enough. And then we go back to C. So there's our first 4 chords. Let's put those together right now, and we'll just strum the chords as they are. Imagine the drums in the background. Final 3 chords, we're going to return back to that power chord shape, but shift it up 2 frets. 3rd finger is going to be along that 12th fret, and this is a G power chord. Then go down to F, and then we finish going back to C. 1, 2, 3. So let's put it all together now. All the chords for the drum break. 1, 2, ready, go. Now the key to this also, if you use the right fingers, if you play that bar chord, the C bar chord shape, you'll note that that 3rd finger's down. That same 3rd finger is where we start the riff to the verse section. So, and we will go into verse 2 again. So after you play that last chord or strum that last chord for the drum break, you're right back into going into verse 2. Even backing up a little bit more, when we end verse 1 and go into the drum solo, you keep that 3rd finger anchored, makes the transition a little easier, a little smoother as you go into that first strum chord. Now for verse 2, you'll pretty much repeat verse 1. It's the main theme. There's a slight variation at the end, and it sounds kind of cool to change things up to end it each time you play the main theme. What he does the 2nd time around, this is pretty close to what he does. So it's a little bit of a change in timing a little bit on those last notes. Not that important if you throw that in, but that's one variation for verse 2. So what I would suggest at this point is to do a basic arrangement. Play the main theme, connect it to the drum break chords, and then go into repeating the main theme again, or another way of putting it, verse 1, drum break, and then verse 2. After verse 2, we go into the song's 2nd drum break, and that'll be played guitar-wise, the same as the first drum break, the same 7-chord sequence. And then we go into the guitar solo. And the best way to fall into the guitar solo is to play that last bar chord in the drum break sequence. That's along the 8th fret. We're going to stay along the 8th fret and just shift up to the top 2 strings. We're shifting from a C chord barred along the 8th fret to the C pentatonic minor scale box pattern. We're going to play some C blues riffs. And we'll start with a double stop on the top 2 strings, a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a bend on the 2nd string. And you have a couple of options on what fingers to bend. The 2nd string, 11th fret. 11th fret's where we're going to extend to, 3 frets higher. 99% of the time I recommend the 1, 2, and 3 fingers. That gives you better control, better tone. But since we're only doing half bends for the guitar solo in Wipeout, you can use your 3 and 4 fingers instead to bend that 11th fret. Whatever option works best for you. But we're going to start with 2 bends, 1, 2, 3, and then the third count will just be the 11th fret without a bend. 1, 2, 3, and then down to the double stop. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Backing it up to the beginning. We'll do that again. Then, still staying in C, we're going to do a bend on the top string 11th fret. Again, you got the option for the 3 and 4 or 2 and 3 fingers. Another half bend down to that 8th fret. Let's connect that to the very beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. Do that again. 1, 2, ready, go. Then we continue on C. The next bar, we'll kind of do a sort of stutter, stop time kind of feel. 1, 2, 3. Then another bend on that top string 11th fret. And I think we'll finish off this C section of the song, bars 1 through 4, by going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, when you play along with the practice backing track coming up or the original recording, you'll get a better sense of the timing. But let's put it all together, bars 1 through 4, and slow walk through. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. For bar 5 of the solo, we're going to shift down to F blues, so it should be along the 1st fret position. We're going to play some double stops again on the top 2 strings, starting with the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Then again, we're bending the 2nd string. This time it'll be the 4th fret, 3 frets higher from where our 1st finger is. And it'll be a half bend. How I would count that, I would count the bend as a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And piecing it together from the beginning, we add the extra 3 count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we stay on F. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At least that's how I count it. That 2nd section, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. From the beginning of the F section, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then pretty quickly we jump up back to C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 after that. Let's back it up to the beginning of that C section here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now let's connect these 2 sections, starting with the F section. 1, 2, ready, go. again. 1, 2, ready, go. For the last 4 bars of the guitar solo, we go to bar 9 now, which will be in G blues along the 3rd fret position. Just going to flatten that first finger along the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I use the 3rd finger on the top string. We're going to play the 5th fret on that top string, still flattening that first finger, so it's actually 3, 5 as far as the frets. Here's how it'll sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we let go. 2, 3, 4. That's the G section, just 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then down to F again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put the 2 together a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we go back up to C, last 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then single note riff, going back and forth between 8 and 10. Dun, actually, I'll count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And what that is, you have a couple options on that very last, the 2 notes here in the guitar solo. I actually like playing a double stop to end it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. But what that is, that's actually the first chord or first double stop of the next drum break. And we know the drum break begins with a bar C chord. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and go to that full chord. That's fine. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Maybe I kind of like that a little bit better. We're still playing 2 notes from that chord, so we're implying that chord. And then maybe if you want, go back to the full bar C for the second time we play the C chord in that drum break. So let's put together these last 4 bars, bars 9 through 12. Again, it's G for bar 9, F for bar 10, and then 2 bars in C for bars 11 and 12. Here's how it sounds. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. The next clip, we'll put it all together, the complete guitar solo, and what we'll also have with that is a backing track. It's a second guitar. We're copying the bass line that you hear on the original recording that's played during the guitar solo. We're going to play it at a slower tempo, so that way you focus on proper timing, playing the correct notes, and if you can get that at a slow tempo, then it's just a matter of practicing over and over to build up the speed. So with that, we'll put together the complete guitar solo in the next clip. After the second guitar solo, we'll go into another verse section, and that's going to go or be repeated until the song has a fade-out ending. So what you need to do if you're playing this live or on your own is come up with an ending as a substitute for the fade-out. And what I would suggest is to just play that first chord in the drum solo, that C bar chord. It sort of syncs up with the end of the main theme. So let me give you an example of a suggested ending. I'm just going to play that. Actually, I'll go to the D part, and we'll show you how it sounds. Once you have each section down, the final step is to put together a complete arrangement or performance of the song. And one note for beginners, Wipeout is a great song to play live with other instruments, most notably drums and bass. Regardless of what instrument you play, drums, bass, or guitar, Wipeout's a great beginner song to learn. And you don't even have to play the guitar solo. If you can play the main theme, and if you get your fingers in shape to play bar chords, you can throw in that drum break as well.